I was doom scrolling the other day, and I don't recall if it was on Reddit or on Blue Sky, but I saw a post about eye gouge, which I wasn't really familiar with. I wasn't playing during original Theros block. This is from Born of the Gods. And it's hilarious. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. If it's a Cyclops, destroy it. Which feels like more of a flavor thing than anything, right?
Yeah.
But it's neat. And then I looked it up. There's only 2 Cyclops cards in that set. There were 2.
That makes it funnier.
It does.
Yeah.
There were 6 in the block as a whole. Like, this is not coming up much. And I imagine when it did come up, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking, how often have they printed really specific hate cards? Because, I mean, the hate cards have been a thing since the beginning of the game where there were a bunch of color hosers. And in some of the early sets, they had a, I guess, pressure release valve in case the set was too strong. So City in a Bottle would just get rid of all the Arabian Nights cards. But let's stay a little focused and let's have a look at the cards which target just a creature type. And it turns out, to me, the creature type that has the most hate is very surprising. So
Yeah?
I haven't shown you what the list is. So would you like to take a guess at which creature type Wizards R&D hates the most?
I'm trying to think. So, like, just off the top of my head, there's a few cards I'm aware of that are very specific hate cards. But they're not one specific creature type. I'm thinking of the ones that target, like, vampires, werewolves, and zombies.
Okay, we're going to look at those.
So I'm going to guess, just maybe, that it might be zombies.
Okay. That's not a bad guess. Let's start with looking at a few of those cards that do target a few different creature types. And I think the first one of those ever printed was another Arabian Nights card, King Suleiman. It targets 2 creature types, Ifrits and Jinns. Fair enough, they introduce a bunch of Ifrits and Jinns in this set. Maybe they're worried that it's going to be too powerful, and so they put in kind of a very specific Royal Assassin type character. And then more recently, but not recently, about 15 years ago, we got a couple more in Undead Slayer from Magic 10, which exiled a skeleton vampire or zombie. And that was about a year or 2 before Innistrad came out. And then we get one of those that you mentioned from Innistrad, the original Innistrad set, that targeted a vampire, werewolf, or zombie. It's wild that they got skeletons in the Undead Slayer, though. It's just so specific. And then a few years before that, we had, not creature types, but this is just quirky enough that I wanted to mention it, the Marsh Drinker Giant from... it's the Shadowmoor Eventide.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Eventide, right? Which can destroy an island or a swamp.
I kind of love that. Like, it implies that he just swoops in
Drinks
and,
it
like,
up.
drinks it up and it's gone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most of these cards are wonderfully flavorful, but they're just...
It's so specific.
Yeah, they're just... You have to be so... you can't even sideboard this in most situations because who's going to have this? I guess they're all just limited only cards. But, and admittedly, I might have missed some things. But I spent a few hours on this, made a good try. And these are the cards that I found that target exactly one creature type, and there's only one card that does that. And in no particular order, we have from, this is Rivals of Ixalan, I think? Cleansing Ray.
That's Rivals.
Which can destroy a vampire or an enchantment. Way back in Mirage, we have something that doesn't destroy dragons, but can Sea Singer one of them, right? Or Rubinia Soul Singer, pick your model. But it takes control of one as long as this remains tapped, and you can choose to leave it tapped.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Then Boggart Arsonists from Shadowmoor. A lot of cards in this list are from either the Shadowmoor Lorwyn plane or Innistrad, because these are the planes that had heavy creature type
Yeah, they had big
themes.
typal themes going on.
Yep.
This one's really cool. I like this Boggart Arsonist art. I've never actually looked at this card before. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know if I had either. It's great. And then, what do you think of this one?
The Halo Hunter?
Yeah.
It's like a It reminds me of like a Texas horny toad on steroids. Like it's just pumped up.
Uh-huh. But it's literally got halos.
Yeah, it's got like a handful
and it's
of
ripped out wings, and it's got like tissue
brutal.
out. Yeah, but it just destroys an angel when it enters the battlefield. And like things that target common small creature types, they kind of make more sense to me. But
that's grisly. I just read the flavor text that hanging on the walls of his lair, the fallen halos cast his depravity in everlasting light.
Yeah, like they...
Wow.
That is a flavorful card.
Yeah.
Creepy, though. Then we have one of the Kamigawas. This isn't champions. That's betrayers with that set symbol.
That's cool.
Nezumi Shadow Watcher has it out for ninjas. You can sack him, but you get to destroy a ninja.
Just destroy target ninja.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
That's cool.
Then had you seen this one from Future Sight?
I have not seen Vidalcan Aether Mage. This one comes into play and returns target sliver to its owner's hand.
Yeah.
Also, I love that they included that you included a card with a wizard cycling.
That's just Future Sight.
Yeah, but like that's just like we have not only this super specific card hate, but also wizard cycling in case you don't need to bounce slivers to their owner's hands.
Well, speaking of wizards, would you like to destroy... Oh, no, sorry. Would you like to deal 3 damage to a target wizard? Because Fever Charm will do that for you.
I probably would. I can think of a few wizards I'd like to burn for 3.
All right. So there was a cycle in Onslaught of charms, and each of them has, as charms do, 3 different modes selected for something flavorful for that color can do. Only the red and black ones include a destroy target thing, and this is another creature type themed set. Yeah, and so the red one lets you destroy a wizard, and the misery charm, the black one, lets you destroy a target cleric.
Oh my goodness!
We have a friend with a cleric deck.
We do have a friend with a cleric.
We need to start running this in every single black deck we do, just in case.
Yeah. No, that's perfect because it's modal too. Like if you don't need to destroy a cleric, I can get a cleric back from my graveyard.
Oh no,
or
maybe he'll run
somebody
it.
To oh
no.
Okay, we need to cut that.
Yeah, hopefully I'll. So those are all the instances I found where there's just one card that hates on one specific creature type.
Okay.
Past there, Wizards gets its hate on for more than at least 2 cards. And the first of those, incredibly flavorful, is Goblins. Because Tividar's Crusade was printed in the dark. It is a sweeper for goblins specifically. Destroy all goblins. And then in Time Spiral, which had a theme of creating these legendary creature cards for characters who are from much older sets, we have
Kinda
Tividar
like
himself.
Modern Horizons.
Yeah. Tividar of Thorn. When he comes into play, destroy target goblin.
That's cool.
That's great. Yeah. Right now I'm reading the first of course I forget the name of the book I'm reading. Let me look it up. It's Jeff Grubb's book right after the Brothers War. It's the Gathering Dark.
Okay.
So it's the one that's basically the dark set, and he just has a brief introduction to the character Tividar. It's just a passing thing, and that's a neat experience. And then here was your guess: zombies. I could only find 2 specific zombie hate cards. Aim for the Head, which is that art. Even though this is only a few years old, I had forgotten how phenomenal it is. Just look at that.
That's really good.
That expression. Yeah. And then the Saw Blade Slinger can fight a zombie when it ETBs. Or just enters.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they changed that.
And then I was curious whether they had any human hate, and yes, indeed they do. And Human Frailty, destroy target human. I hadn't seen this card either, and it's kind of ironic that's in Avacyn Restored, which is supposed to be when the humans become ascendant again. And then the Opportunistic Dragon, one of the more recent cards on this list.
Choose target human.
Yep, and this is one that steals control rather than destroying, but same deal. And then a couple more, another pair of Lorwyn cards, anti-treefolk, because again that was a set that was themed on creature type. Yeah,
that art on Consuming Bonfire is really good.
Yeah. And then we go on to the last 2. So Silver Metal, for most hated, has 3 very specific hate cards, and this is entirely because of Innistrad and Werewolf hate.
I can't believe werewolves is such a niche type already. I can't believe there's 3 cards.
Yeah, there's more than zombies. Zombies are in like every set ever, and yet werewolves have more hate cards.
Yeah.
So in original Innistrad, we had the Wolf Hunter's Quiver, which can deal 1 damage to anything or 3 damage to a werewolf. And so it's not destroy, but that's a werewolf hate card.
Yeah.
And then Silver Bolt upped its game in Midnight Hunt, where it deals 3 damage to anything, but it'll destroy a werewolf.
Yeah.
And 1 set later, Lunar Rejection. This is a cleave card, which is such a convoluted mechanic, but by default, the cheap cost for this just returns a wolf or werewolf. It's a bounce card for wolves and werewolves that you can pay more to cast against anything. But far and away, with 7 specific hate cards, spirits.
Okay, I
By
would
far,
never have
right?
guessed that.
The most behated
Yeah.
creature type by WotC R&D. And I think, kind of anticlimactically, there's a pretty good reason, and that's because there are hate cards from Innistrad, and there are hate cards from Kamigawa.
Okay, I mean, that tracks, but the fact that there are this many is
know.
surprising.
But in Champions of Kamigawa block, the original block, there was this big conflict between the spirits and everyone else. And the same was supposed to be narratively true in Neon Dynasty, but mechanically you didn't see that. We didn't have a bunch of spirit and anti-spirit cards. We did in in the original block. I didn't realize that, but Kitsune Diviner taps them down. Hisoka's Defiance counters them.
Yeah, Ren Spirit just destroys a spirit. Or, Ren Spirit destroy target spirits.
Nine-Ringed Bow. More complicated artifact. 1 damage to target spirit. If that creature would be put into graveyard, remove it from the game instead.
Exile it
but
instead.
like, what an absurdly specific card. This might be the silliest card on this entire list because
you know what? That
damage.
combos though with Hirobi, Deathswale.
Yeah. But it only targets spirits.
Yeah, but that's the one where if a creature would be targeted, it's destroyed instead, so you would still get that exile effect.
If you're trying to kill your opponent's spirits?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Why would you be trying to kill your own spirits?
I don't know. I wasn't sure what you were going for. But I mean, the fact that they made this hate card that only does 1 damage to a thing, it can't kill anything except a spirit.
Costs 3.
It can't even target anything except a spirit, and it only does 1 damage to them. What?
And it costs 3.
Yeah. I guess maybe this isn't a hate card. Clash of Realities. This one is confusing wording to me.
Have it deal 3 damage to target non-spirit.
Yeah.
And then all non-spirit creatures. Okay, so that seems more okay then.
No, but the second part does hit on spirits.
When non-spirit creatures come into play, they can deal 3 damage to a spirit.
Right. So this isn't just a spirit. This is, I guess, a trying to capture the flavor of the whole conflict.
Yeah.
But I dare say that if you play a few spirits, well, if you play this in an EDH game, you're going to have 3 players with a bunch of non-spirits, each of whom can kill your spirits, and you're going to... So, I don't know. maybe this is more like 6.5 rather than 7 cards. But then the 2 Innistrad ones are Thraben Exorcism for Midnight Hunt, just exile a spirit or a creature with Disturber Enchantment. And then Urgent Exorcism from original Innistrad.
I think it's interesting that so many of these, and this is probably like an R&D thing that they figured out in testing, do this hyper-specific, like, destroy target spirit or an enchantment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that's...
Just to make it playable.
Yeah. And even on the eye gout, the first one we looked at, like, clearly the normal mode for that is just -1/-1 for something. This is just a cheap, efficient combat trick.
It's just like a little pinch.
But it can really go off. But not the 9-Ringed Bow. That one is really and truly, you've got to invest 3 mana in this artifact to maybe deal 1 damage at a time to some spirits if your opponent happens to be playing them. I don't know. The Kitsune Diviner too. Like, it's a 0/1. If your opponents don't have any spirits, it's doing nothing for you.
Yeah. For like half a second when you popped that up there, I have a deck that specifically wants to tap down other people's creatures. And I thought for just half a second, like, oh, maybe I want to run this. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Like, have you ever tapped down a spirit? I was like, I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah. But so yeah, the more recent ones have those other modes. In fact, Thraben Exorcism, probably the expected primary mode is Destroy and Enchantment.
Probably.
Well, maybe. I guess Spirits is one of the 5 creature types in the set.
Yeah, if
Sure.
you were playing in Limited, like,
Right.
the creature with Disturb or Spirit was possible.
Yeah. Yeah. But then Ren Spirit from Kamigawa, just destroy target spirit. There's no other mode. That is it. That is all this can do.
And it's not even like an arcane. You can't splice it onto arcane or do
Yeah.
any of that nonsense.
Yeah. So yeah, I was astounded that there were this many cards for spirits of all things.
That is unexpected. I would never have guessed that. What do they have against spirits?
Spirits, some people hear it, some people fear it. Spirits, some people just won't go.